Today we're going to be looking at a game between Magnus Carlsen and John Ludwig Hammer. People know him as the Hammer. He is Magnus's second. He trained with him for 2 World Championship matches. And you might be saying, this isn't a Magnus game on the screen. And you are right. I actually got paired with him on chess.com. And I actually had a great position on move 23. I played the hippo as always. But in this position, I had to find the move bishop to f3. Point is, I want to go queen g4, threaten checkmate. And if he takes, I actually checkmate him with queen to h3. He wouldn't have taken, but this was the sequence. Knight c8. There's no way for him to deflect or stop checkmate. The best he had would be bishop f1. I go queen g4 and mount a ton of pressure. But, of course, instead of bishop f3, I went king f7 and threw the game. So there's that. But let's look at Magnus because he did not throw the game. We get, and this is played in 2003 in Greece in the World Youth Championship. So we get a perk or Pierce defense. I actually have a student who plays this opening very well. Ludwig plays the e4 d4 setup, so it's not like a King's Indian, it's more of like an e4 Pierce, and you put the knight on c6. Now, d5 is never going to be a good move. You might think this is a tempo gain, but more often than not, it's just going to leave you with an overextension, a worse light squared bishop. And black has many ways to play that. They could go a5, knight back to a6. Then it would play more like a King's Indian after white plays pawn to c4. But none of that happened. White goes c3, the calmer response, just gaining defenders on the center, and we get pawn to e5. Now, there's many things you could do here. If white plays d5, knight e7, and then you are going to play for f5, and it'll start to resemble more of a King's Indian. You have the exchange variation, which doesn't look great here, and at best, it's pretty drawish for white, so white typically doesn't go into that at the top level. We get pawn h3, stopping anything from coming to g4, and then now knight h5. I remember when I used to play the King's Indian defense, like knight h5 was always a move, and I was like, I don't like that. I like knight e8. I like knight d7. Knight d7 to stop c5. Knight e8 just to go f5 and be safe. But nowadays when I see knight h5, I actually very much like it. I think I just never connected the dots that the point is to control this f4 square. And even if like bishop takes, pawn takes, you get the open diagonal in many, many positions. So I've learned to appreciate this knight on the side of the board. But okay, we get pawn takes, and now not pawn takes back, but knight f4, jumping in, gaining a tempo on the bishop. So the bishop has to move, and then you take the pawn back. And he took back with the knight. So now the position is heating up. We get knight takes e5, and can you find the move? He actually does not take back right away. The move is queen to g5, and you are threatening checkmate on g2. You're also x-raying to the bishop and the knight. So black's potential is mounting for sure in this position. Let's see what white does. Knight g4. Okay. What if he went like queen f3 to stop checkmate? Can you find the move now? It would be knight takes h3. Queen can't take because the bishop defends. And after king somewhere, you're x-raying both these pieces and you'll win both those pieces. And their king is open on the h file. A motif that happens later. But okay, we got knight to g4, the best move, and now queen takes bishop. Black has a slight advantage, but how to capitalize? Okay, knight to e2, pushing the king over to the h file. That is suspicious for white. And now we get bishop takes knight, opening up the king on the h file. See? Positional motif. Let's see how black builds. Rook a to e8, aiming at the pawn on e4. Okay, that makes sense. And here Ludwig decides to chuck the e4 pawn. He's going to go bishop e3, claiming that this knight is trapped. And that would be a correct claim, though it won't matter. So he's planning rook e1. So we get rook takes pawn, rook e1, and find the win in this position. Pause the video, or don't. The win is, it's beautiful. It's like a puzzle. Queen h5, check. A brilliant move. So boom. A brilliant move. White resigned. Why? Well, they can't go king g1, as they would hope to. Pawn has to take the queen, and now rook to h4, checkmate. So this was a great game played by Magnus and his now second. They're the same age. They are friends. I just thought it was cool that I played him on chess.com, and then I found this game. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching as always. Have a great day.